you're someone who wants to get married one day, you're dating for the purpose of marriage, or you already are engaged, hopefully these tips will help you guys cut some corners and save and have a beautiful wedding without breaking the bank and going into debt.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
With the Alexanders. If this is your first time, thank you for watching.
Yes,
and if you've already been on here tuning in with us, we appreciate you.
Welcome back.
Subscribe please. And babe, what we talking about today?
So today is going to be an exciting time. So if you are someone who you would like to have a wedding one day, or you are dating for the purposes of marriage, or you are currently engaged, we are talking about wedding tips on how to save while planning your dream wedding, which is exactly what we did. And this is a video a long time coming when we obviously had this note since the wedding. But there were so many things that we've done that we did during the wedding season that really helped us to save and still have the wedding that we wanted. And so we wanted to come on today and just share those with you guys, just kind of a little impromptu chat about that. And if you know someone who is planning a wedding or whatnot, feel free to share this with them. I mean, these are literally hacks that we either learned on purpose or just learned by the way and was like, oh, that saved us some money, that really don't make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. Okay.
So I opened this up. So just to start off, one of the main things we felt, or we feel like you should try to have when building that foundation, when starting your planning for a wedding, is godly counsel. So just having, people around you, with bridesmaids or groomsmen, or what is it called, the person that's wedding coordinator, just those people who's going to help you steer yourself in the right direction for your planning of your wedding, because you don't want people around you who's going to telling you, hey girl, go have the big extravagant crazy wedding that's going to put you in debt, because this is what we don't want to happen. And thank God we had that.
Yeah, the value of that is just learning from someone who's been there before. So like for us, like Bree and Chelsea had just gotten married, and Bree has been married for years, and so they were able to like say like, this is way to save, we don't need this. And but in the same vein of that is deciding your priorities, because once you know what you and your future spouse are willing to, like, what are your non-negotiables, and then what are the things you're willing to bend on that'll help lead your budget as well. So those are just, that's not part of the tips, that's just a little, preface.
That's a freebie to open us up. All right, so jumping right in. Now, first thing we got is DIY.
DIY what, sweetie?
DIY. We did DIY with the flowers. Because flowers, they can become pricey. Yes. And we learned that quickly.
So they can be upwards of thousands of dollars, and so we DIY'd our flowers. That's a big thing. And the flowers that I chose were baby's breath, and they were fresh, so it wasn't like a faux foliage. It was real, but it was fresh. And so what we did is the bridesmaids, the morning of the wedding, we bought all the baby's breath in or whatever was sitting in water, and we just bound it up with ribbon and like hot glue that morning, and boom, it was bouquets. And it was really quick. While someone was getting their makeup done, someone was bonding it. It was super quick and activity that you and as the bride and the bridesmaids can do together really quickly. And faux flowers are also another option to save a lot of money, but DIYing your bouquets will save you tons of time. Now my bouquet, I was gonna use Chelsea's, but Dexter ended up giving me a gift of flowers that morning through my maid of honor. And so I was able to then take that and use that as the bouquet, which I did, which was so authentic and unique. But yeah, DIYing your flowers, definitely one way to save on money. And what is number two? Number two is a Friday wedding. Yes, have a Friday wedding. Yes, we didn't understand and know that. But when we sat down and got at the table and was talking to our again, counsel and wedding coordinators and things like that, we were able to see that, hey, the significant difference in prices from a Saturday
Sunday wedding compared to a Friday wedding. So we was like, oh yeah, we going with Friday for sure, you know.
Yeah, you save a lot. And a lot of times venues will have packages for Friday. Like I think ours was called like the Merriment package, but they'll have different packages for Friday. And I think weekday packages, weekday is kind of a stretch if it's not Friday.
Yeah.
You can decide if that's what you want to do, but definitely Friday's still a way to have the weekend, but yet still have that, you know, that rate of the weekday. So it's kind of cool.
Number 3, babe, what we got for number 3?
Number 3 is a domestic bachelorette. And so for my bachelorette, we went to, the fact that I remember the place in South Carolina. Not Hilton Head.
You was a Hilton Head.
It wasn't Hilton Head. Help us, Lord. Hilton Head Island, which is in South Carolina. Now that's domestic. I wanted to do Charleston anyway. I didn't really want to go overseas, but I know many brides do. And so if that's a big, super big thing that you want to do, that's fine. But if you're willing to negotiate for price wise, doing a nice trip somewhere in the States will save a lot of money for your party and it'll save a lot of money on you. And so that's a huge way. Now, granted, many times, you know, the bridal party will pay for the things, and so the bride yourself, you may not be paying for that. You may come out of pocket for some things, but it's also just a way to take some cost off of your party who's already paying a lot of money sometimes. And so if you want that, that's fine. But if you're looking for a way to cut costs, doing a domestic bachelorette is definitely one way to do that.
Yes, that's good. And for number 4, we got the open bar. Those drinks become pricey.
Cost. And yeah, it's not doing an open bar, it's considering not doing an open bar.
Yeah, so having that open bar raises that price up because now you got to take into consideration you're having to pay, you know, for those bartenders to be there to serve people, you know, per the hour that they're there, and even the alcohol that, you know, people are drinking, you having to pay for those things. So, you know, I know people like, you know, to try to have a good time and those things, but you know, you can have a good time without it.
Yeah, and there's also other packages. Like at our wedding, we had a beer and wine package that was significantly cheaper than the open bar. What was it, beer and wine? Or no, it wasn't beer and wine, sorry. It wasn't beer and wine, my bad. It was cash bar. It was cash bar. And so they had a set amount of prices for what, if guests wanted drinks, they can go and pay for it. And it was cash, and so we would pay for the bartender and the servers or whatever, but you're not paying for the alcohol yourself. And so usually venues will have different packages. You can do like, you can do a beer and wine, you can do a cash bar where your guests pay us a smaller fee for a drink, or you can do no bar at all and just have a dry bar with, you know, regular drinks and things like that. And so there's so many ways, and so definitely be prayerful about that, especially if you're a believer. If you're someone who doesn't drink anymore, things like that, or not drinking as much. We weren't really heavy drinkers at that time, and so it was a no-brainer for us to kind of cut costs there. And so we encourage you guys to do the same.
And then our 5th point that we're going to hit on is renting your decor.
Rent that decor.
Yeah, so the luxury that we had, thank God, was we knew a company, or I guess
it was a place that we that our wedding shower was thrown at. So where our friends and family threw our wedding shower, the lady there was a venue that it also serves as a wedding venue. So she had like tons of candles and candle holders and stuff, and we were able to contact her, and she gave us a rate to rent all those things out for our tables. And so in renting it, you save a lot. I mean,
so much.
Especially because you're getting married, you're using it for your wedding for one day. You typically aren't going to need hundreds of candles and linens, all that stuff, you know, so all that stuff can be rented. That's another thing we didn't put in here, purchasing your own linens, which we did. We did do that. Purchase that's what is it, number 5? 5B, purchase your own linens. But yeah, so yeah, we definitely saved on that end. So I would encourage you guys, you know, look for rentals, or even look on Facebook Marketplace. A lot of times people will be reselling after they get married or whatever. They're reselling, trying to get rid of their decor at a cheaper price. So I would say, yeah, rent your decor if you can, and then also purchase your own linens. We were able to find linen packages online. They still kind of costly, but they don't cost nearly as much as if we rented them from someone else. We literally bought it ourselves, took it up to the dry cleaners, had them steam it and everything like that. And it saved us on the back end for linens.
And our 6th point is the aesthetic of the venue that you choose. So speaking of that, basically we're just trying to let you know, hey, whatever venue you choose, make sure that it's appeasing for you and your guests that you're going to have, because that'll help with your costs. So now you ain't got to do as many decorations,
right?
Because you might have the tall ceiling windows, or you know, all those beautiful things, portraits and stuff that's going on in your venue, and it's like, oh, we ain't got to do nothing but subtle pops now,
right,
to make everything come out. So that's a steal right there.
No, it really is, because there's some venues that literally don't have anything. It's like straight walls or cedar, you know, cinder block, and so you have to figure out how to, like, you have to pay money for so much pipe and drape and all this type of stuff to get it to look like weddingy, when you could already have a really nice place. Like the place that we got married, it was definitely modern. It was at a museum, and it was my favorite. It was my #1 pick. I'm so grateful that we got married there. But it had so much already embedded in the decor of the room. The windows itself were just a stunning piece, and so, you know, you don't have to do too much. So, you know, if you find venues, you know, if your style is, you know, farmhouse, kind of shabby chic, or if your style is modern, if your style is kind of like a classic, like mansion look, you know, whatever it is, you can find venues that are nicely decorated just by themselves, and so you can kind of pull on the look and the feel of the venue, and save some money on having to recreate the space, if you will.
And now number seven would be adding another stream of saving.
Yes, add another stream of income. So this is going to be a two-part 2-1-2 as well. So if you are someone who's dating and courting for the purposes of marriage, do seek God, do be in agreement with God, get the confirmation on your own. But we were saving up a wedding fund before we got engaged, because we knew we wanted to get married, you know, everything like that. So, but I would say just don't jump out, do it, you know, brother, sister, if you're watching this, you know, y'all don't just do it on your own, be like, oh, I'm gonna start saving. You need to come into agreement
back to that godly counsel. Come in agreement with God, put God first, and also have that godly counsel, the wisdom. Those, you know, people around you are older and wiser, you know, who can spearhead and steer you in the right direction. Right, because it's, I mean, of course it's unfortunate, but some people will say something and then maybe they don't mean it, you know, and you don't, no one wants that, but you definitely don't want that having saved up $1,000 and now, you know, and so, you know, definitely come under godly counsel with that, but it does help to save beforehand, and then also another stream. So our other stream was DoorDash. We were DoorDashing. Y'all know how we get down. Child. DoorDash. DoorDash. If y'all ain't seen the videos. It was a lot. I mean, by the time the wedding comes, we was sick tired. I was like, bro, this is too much DoorDash. Thank God. You know, we get so crazy. We tried to DoorDash a little bit later on after it wasn't being even married. It wasn't even giving. We was like, we can't even do it today. We can't do it. We were so burned out on DoorDash. Like, we just wasn't trying to go on a date, you know? But I mean, you don't have to do something that extreme, but just finding another stream of income, even for a seasonal thing, it might be helpful. Just so you don't have to go into so much debt from your wedding, or even some unexpected things. Like the week of our wedding, literally before, we got broken into. And so we had to foot a bill of like moving our apartment and replacing things and all that. And so, you know, we're not praying that happens. We don't wish it upon anyone, but it's just good to have some fail-safes and some things saved up for, you know, emergency fund, literally emergency fund. And so if you don't already have one as an individual, do get one for yourself anyway. But definitely having a wedding fund helps for those type of things, and getting another stream of income in your engagement season definitely helped us out as well to cut the cost of what would have been coming out of your pocket somewhere else. And I would even add one last thing to it. I feel that God just leads me to say this. Be intentional with your wedding. Don't, you know, feel like, hey, I'm trying to please people. You know, I want all these people to come, you know, to please them, because that can become costly. You know, that adds up. You know a lot of people. You might be cool and close to a lot of people, but be intentional with your people that you're inviting. You know, because these are people that's going to be doing life with you. You know, so you don't want to just be paying for people to eat and paying for people to be there, and they're not even praying for you and, you know, wishing the best for you. So just keep in mind, you know, be intentional with that guest list, because that can become pricey for sure. You know, for sure, definitely. So we hope that these tips really just help you guys. If, like I said, if you're someone who wants to get married one day, you're dating for the purpose of marriage, or you already are engaged, hopefully these tips will help you guys cut some corners and save and have a beautiful wedding without breaking the bank and going into debt, because that is not
the will of the Father. Okay?
Not at all.
We're not trying to be out here broke. So, so definitely give a comment below if you have any other ideas on how to save and you have had a wedding. Feel free to drop that in the comments. Send this to a friend who might could use it. Give a video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as well. I know this is kind of a unconventional one for us. We just want to get these tips out and encourage another couple who is on their way to marriage. So we love you guys. We can't wait to see you guys in our next video. See ya.
Love you.
Bye.
Peace.